Now, when we talk about building capability, we have to start from building capability for what? And for what means a typology matters. We need to differentiate different kinds of things. So on this slide, there are 4 different animals. Think to yourself, which of these 2 animals is most alike? Now, there can be a variety of answers to that. One can say the top 2 look alike, because they certainly look alike. They both live in Alaska. They look almost identical. And from outward appearances, those 2 are the most alike. You could say the 2 on the right are most alike because they're both predators and the role they play in their ecosystem is quite alike. So a wolf and a bear are similar animals in the role they play in an ecosystem. And if we were thinking about an ecosystem perspective, they were most alike. The 2 on the left, even though they look completely different, are the most alike in the sense that they're the same species. They're both dogs. And at least by the classification that biologists use, those 2 in the classification scheme of species are the same because they can interbreed, and that's the relevant criteria. So now, moving from animals to buildings, look at the pictures of these 4 buildings. One's a university, one's a hospital, one's a clinic, one's a primary school. Which of these is most alike? Well, clearly by sector or by objective, the clinic and the hospital both are trying to cure people. The primary school and the university are both trying to educate people. But by a typology of implementation capability, they needn't look alike. It could well be that the implementation capability and kinds of ways you would build that capability to deliver are going to be very different for the primary school and the clinic, and the way one builds capability for elite tertiary institutions like hospitals and universities is going to be very different. So we're going to move ahead with our analytical typology, trying to break down the notion of seeing things as undifferentiated sectors into seeing what are the implementation capabilities for the activities within the sectors. So what we want to do over the next set of videos is build up an analytical typology where we're not necessarily focused on the appearances of what you're doing or even the sector you're doing it in, but a set of analytical questions I want you to ask about your activity. So before you go to the next videos, I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to make the following chart that I'm going to draw on the board. So before you go to the next videos, write down at the top of this chart what is the activity that needs to happen to solve the problem that you are trying to solve. So it can be anything that you want to think about. You can think about microcredit in Bangladesh. You can think about collecting property taxes in Medellin, Colombia. You can think about reforming the police in Lahore, Pakistan. You can think about anything you want to think about. You write down the concrete problem in a concrete location and situation that you want to think about, and then we'll use that problem of yours to think through the analytical typology.